I don't help my wife cook. I don't help her clean, do laundry, take care of the kids. None of that. Because I do what I'm supposed to do as a father and a husband. I cook. I clean. I do the laundry. I take care of the kids. I can't help my wife do those things because they are my job too. Change the way you speak, change the way you think, and grow the fuck up and be a man.
And I love the way that these men think. Okay, it's responsibility of both of their parents or both of the adults in the house to help around the house with the things that are needed with the kids or the things that are needed with the keeping up of the house. I was a single Mary mom myself, and I will tell you everything that I left through in the end of this video. I'm formally divorced right now. And yes, and when I divorced, I started to live the happiest days of my life. But I will explain everything to you towards the end of this video, so stay towards the end.
I said I didn't know it was only my responsibility. You do laundry too. But you were telling me as if you need to do a load of laundry.
I have a full-time job. This is your job. Your job is to make sure he has clean underwear. You failed.
It's Saturday.
You failed.
I remember making a video where I said that some men want to work one job, but they want you to work the other 99. And this is the perfect example of what I was talking about. This man literally said you have one job, as if he does not understand that a stay-at-home mom has several jobs. The cooking, the cleaning, the laundry, the meal planning, the grocery shopping, the bedtime, the bath time, like all of it. A mom has 1,000,001 jobs, and this man tried to belittle and berate her because he feels like she failed at one of them. Some men want you to be a stay-at-home mom because they want to be able to talk to you like this. They want you to have no choice but to put up with it. I feel like some of them have a humiliation kink or a humiliation fetish. They want you to have to come to them like a child. Babe, I need $20. They say, $20? I just gave you $20 last month. They love the vulnerability of you having to walk on eggshells and you having to ask for permission. This is the same life that they're surprised single women aren't jealous of. Single women are realizing more and more that they don't want this life just for the sake of being married and having a child.
I'm married, but I'm still a single mom. Let me explain. Hi, my name is Savannah McKee, and I know today's video is going to hit home. Let's just be honest. What I'm saying is I am married, faithful husband, and I'm a single mom. Why am I still a single parent? Because women, mothers, we know that no matter what it is, we have to do the work. Even though your husband leaves and he's out working, as a mom, a stay-at-home mom, you're still working as well. We're just not getting paid for it. You're taking care of the kids, you're taking care of the house, you're cooking, and just the kids alone is not even a 9 to 5. It's like what's the longest hour stretch? When we leave the house and we just want to run around the corner or just run to Target, our first thing is, I'm going to go and I'll be back, and this is the time, and this is the bottle, and this is where the diaper is, and she needs this, and when she wakes up, put the TV on. Like, we're helping out. When they come in the house and they get ready to leave, they're just like, hey, all right. Men come and go as they please. Fathers come and go as they please. Husbands come and go as they please. Moms, we cannot do that. We take care of everything. I'll be laying in the bed and it's time to get Mason up for school. And Antonio will get Mason up for school, but it's like in my head, I know that they're going to take too long. They're going to be playing. Then he's not going to get it right. He's not going to do his hair right. He won't put his clothes on the exact way I need him to put his clothes on, even though he's 6 years old. So I do everything, then push him out the house because moms do it the best. And then I'm texting him, I'm in line, or 3 more aisles and then I'm leaving. I'm down the street. Dads be gone all day. Am I complaining? No. Am I complaining? Yeah. But I can do that. I love my husband. But I'm single. I'm a single mom. even if I'm married. I don't care what race you are, every woman feels the same way. Argue with me. Like, if I got to sit here and catch a whole flight somewhere, I got to be like, hey, this is what time I'm leaving. Did you even know? You think you can watch the kids? Not him. He roll out of bed and start packing his suitcase like, oh, I got a fight to go to. I didn't tell you? No, you didn't tell me. So for a week, I'm going to be here with the kids? Okay. And then some of you guys might think, well, he's making the money. Okay. Can we just normalize it? It needs to be normalized. And these are for the moms out there, the married moms. And if you don't feel that way, move and bring the other ones to the front because they know what I'm talking about. And let's not forget, we still have to take care of you. We still have to take care of our husbands. I got to make sure he gets the first plate of food when he gets home. He's the first one that eats in this house. The man is the head. So am I wrong? Ladies, how do you feel? Do you feel like you are married but you're still single? A single mom?
I just feel like you could have been nicer to me.
Oh my gosh, well I feel like you could have done 80 more things today than you did. I feel like I woke up and I cleaned our room, I did our bed, I cleaned the sheets, I did the laundry, I put your clothes away, I come in the kitchen, nothing's done. So I do everything. Then I make you breakfast, then I get the baby ready, then I get myself ready. And what do, Michael? You just tell me I could have been nicer. That seems pretty nice to me. And you thought I was pretty nice last night. Super nice. Woo!
I'm a licensed marriage and family therapist. Let's talk about this clip. So this is a pursuer withdrawer conflict cycle. She is protesting lack of partnership. She's protesting this disconnect she's feeling. She's actually saying is, do you see me? Do you see all this stuff I'm doing? Do you see how hard I'm working? Are you in tune with my needs? She might have said this in softer ways. She might have been conditioned to not say anything and kind of stuff it down until she explodes. Her move now that she's gone for a while, feeling like her needs are not being met, is to move into critical blaming. And that's going to trigger her husband to be like, whoa, bro, just be nice to me. And his move is likely going to be to shut down, disconnect, and move to this place of I can't do anything right. Partner's too demanding. She can't be pleased. Just get me out. Which is going to communicate to her she really is alone. Her partner really isn't with her, and she's going to escalate more.
This is my very hot take, but if I did not already have kids in 2025, there's no way in hell I'd be having kids. Number one, grandparents are still working. Neighbors aren't willing to take care of your children. Everybody is just trying to keep their heads barely above water. So there is no more village. Don't even get me started on the economy. It's an absolute joke. Childcare can be more than rent. School lunches are expensive, and shopping for the groceries feels like a damn luxury. Also, it's way too many moms that are solo parenting in a two-parent household. They're carrying all the mental load, signing all the school forms, going to all the doctor's appointments, handling all the damn discipline, and they got to go to work too. Then it's hustle culture. Everybody is working 2 jobs, mandatory, or they got some sort of side hustle. All of this extra time that you could be investing into children, you're not able to do anymore. It just doesn't exist. Those are just a few reasons why I say just don't have kids. Parenting in 2025 feels like an extreme sport that nobody trained us for. It's no way I'd have kids in 2025. Just don't have them. This is my very hot take, but if I did not already have kids in 2025, there's no way in hell I'd be having kids. Number one, grandparents are still working. Neighbors aren't willing to take care of your children. Everybody is just trying to keep their heads barely above water. So there is no more village. Don't even get me started on the economy. It's an absolute joke. Childcare can be more than rent. School lunches are expensive, and shopping for the groceries feels like a damn luxury. Also, it's way too many moms that are solo parenting in a two-parent household. They're carrying all the mental load, signing all the school forms, going to all the doctor's appointments, handling all the damn discipline, and they got to go to work too.
Then it's hustle culture. Everybody is working 2 jobs, mandatory, or they got some sort of side hustle. All of this extra time that you could be investing into children, you're not able to do anymore. It just doesn't exist. Those are just a few reasons why I say just don't have kids. Parenting in 2025 feels like an extreme sport that nobody trained us for. It's no way I'd have kids in 2025. Just don't have them.
It is easier being a single mom than a married single mom, despite the financial insecurity, sometimes housing insecurity, having to restart, removing the second adult from the home and just carrying 100% of the weight somehow turns out to be less stressful and causes less resentment than when you are sharing the house with someone who refuses to contribute. I know we're going to have triggered men jumping in the comments talking about how they work a full-time job, they're the breadwinner, they provide the health insurance, so how dare we say they don't contribute? But the contribution to a home is so much more than a paycheck. In most homes, both parents were working anyway. So both parents are managing their 40-hour work week, and then typically the mom is carrying 100% of the labor distribution within the home. I don't know why we call it distribution of labor when it's not distributed at all. The mental labor of being the CEO of your home, the boss of your entire family, is absolutely draining, and it's stressful. Somehow, when the other person's removed from the equation and all of it rests on your shoulders, it's easier. And I have literally heard from thousands of women in the comments that are saying the exact same thing. They may now be managing 2 or 3 jobs just to provide the same lifestyle for their kids, and they might be back in school full time, but they still say it's easier by themselves.
Are you seeing a lot of the married single moms coming in for a divorce?
Yeah, I mean, that's the trend. And the funny part about that is, what I think people don't fully appreciate about that is we think of it as married single mom. Okay, so you're married and you're living like you're single because you're doing it all. And you're doing it all for yourself and your husband and your kids. But think about this. When your kids see you as mom doing everything and dad doing very little, do you want to know what they do? They do less themselves. Modeling that is just not even a good idea for the kids, because kids are going to follow suit with whatever, in large part, what your husband is doing. And if he's doing nothing, it'll be nothing.
And this is why I like to say that the obstacles that a lot of mothers face is not just some single mother phenomenon. I feel like a married single mother is far worse than a single mother. A married single mother has an entire other adult in the household, a non-effective adult. So not only is the mental and the emotional load for those children on you, but you are also taking care of a whole other adult, cooking, cleaning, tending to their needs, their wants, making sure they good, as if they're another added on dependent. Now, I'm pretty sure y'all all seen this video. This mom was very frustrated and overwhelmed. She got her baby girl dressed. Baby girl was out there on the corner with her book bag and everything, okay? Waiting for the bus, and it finally dawned on her and clicked in that it was Saturday. It was Saturday morning. And now I would like to hope that maybe her husband was at work. Maybe he had to work on Saturday and he was at work. Because if that man was laying in the bed while you got up, rushing to get your daughter dressed and ready to go out for the bus, and at no point did he bother to stop you, and while y'all are outside waiting for the bus on Saturday, he is getting his beauty sleep? This is how those snap moments happen. Remember that show Snap? And the women's be unaliving their husbands. This is a snap situation. Because I would have went up in that house, and my frustration would have caused me to snack, crackle, and motherfucking pop. But yeah, when I tell y'all the experiences of motherhood is not just a single mother phenomenon, the experiences of motherhood is not just a single mother phenomenon. But I would much rather be a single mother than know that I have a whole grown-ass adult in my home with children that is not effective, and I have to carry on everything by myself. to end up like this, frustrated, standing outside waiting for an invisible bus on a Saturday morning. But yeah, she said, this is postpartum depression. I can't handle no more kids. And some people are going to look at this and say, well, she knew after the first one. She knew after the second one. She knew after the third one. Because when you're a mother, once again, you don't get to be frustrated, overwhelmed, and you don't get to complain. At least not out loud anyways. I feel really bad for sis. She's going through it. You can tell that she was overwhelmed and at her wit's end in the video. And I hope things get better for her. Let me know what y'all think about this in the comment section.
3 kids on her lap, trying to do everything alone. She could barely get a fry in, and oh! This is what we refer to as a married single mom. It's a real thing. There are millions of women in this world right now married to a man on paper and getting absolutely no help from him with the kids. In fact, I talk to women all the time that said it was more work being married to him. It was more of a burden than if she were just actually alone while being a mother. Because you see, when you're a married single mom, you have an extra child. But this child's a full-grown fucking adult. This child has responsibilities that he's leaving on the floor for her to pick up. And I don't care if he's the only one working. I highly doubt he is anyway, but it doesn't fucking matter. You have children, which then makes you a father. And with that comes responsibilities that only you can take on. But instead, all of the cleaning and all of the cooking, figuring out daycare and figuring out school and figuring out birthday parties, when the kids have a medical issue, baths, showers, bedtime. It took 2 to tango, and if you're gonna be in the fucking house, step it up.
3 signs. It's only a matter of time until your wife leaves you. Don't believe me? Keep it up. Let's see how it goes for you. She works full-time and she handles everything. You essentially live like a teenager, coming and going as you please. You walk in and ask questions like, what's for dinner? Your contribution is going out on your favorite zero-turn lawnmower and spending hours out there just listening to music, checked out, enjoying the fresh air. And that's really all you contribute. Other than that, she's holding down the fort and managing everything. And you're essentially just another child that she's caring for. If you're living that lifestyle and you have that wife that's doing all of the things, she's going to get tired. It's just wait until the kids get a little older and she's going to look at you and think, what the hell am I doing? Right now she doesn't know better because she's just so lost in it. She's just in the weeds every day trying to survive. But there'll come a time. There will. Number 2, if you have a spending problem. If your wife is on edge all the time because she can't trust you financially, it's not going to pan out. She's worried about the bills and you're taking out loans on cars that you don't need, or, I don't know, a pool you don't need, vacations you can't afford, and she's stressed to the max night after night. She's the one that's paying the bills. She's the one that sees that you guys don't have the money to do all these things that you want to do. She's going to get to her breaking point, and she's going to leave you. Her nervous system can only take the stress for so long. She's going to get to a point where she just physically and mentally, she won't be able to continue existing like that. When she gets to that point and her stress is so high, it's less about leaving you and more about her finally realizing, oh my God, I'm a mess. Like, I'm a shell of a person. I can't keep going on like this. And she's just going to decide to take care of herself. She's going to realize that doing that means saying goodbye to you. And number 3, if you have any type of boomer humor in your marriage, and what I mean by that is you basically insult her to get laughs. You put her down, you make jabs at her, especially when you're in front of other people and you turn to those around you like, ha ha ha, I'm such a funny guy. And the jokes are always at her expense. Go ahead, keep putting her down, keep telling her that she just has a stick up her butt and she doesn't have a good sense of humor and that she's too serious and that she needs to lighten up. You are cutting her 1,000 times over with those comments. You think it's all in good fun, but you're essentially just wearing down her self-worth. And she'll either get to a point where she can't take it anymore because she's so depressed, or it'll take one person, one other guy, to come alongside her and say something nice, and that's it. You're gone. And then you'll have the ammunition to say that she filed and you didn't see the divorce coming and it must be her fault, when really you chose divorce every single day with your words and actions. So don't be surprised. Don't be surprised if you're that guy and you're living these things and your wife leaves you, because I see it every day. It's coming.
Just so you know, these two things are connected. The video I just posted and these are connected. Because say what you will about women who post their shitty partners on the internet, like looking for sympathy or looking for attention, they're sharing important information with us. Honestly, like they're doing the Lord's work. Even if it's coming from a place of like needing or wanting validation or whatever, I don't care. I and other women, but especially like younger women, see that and are like, hell no. And I love, I love these responses to something's broken in our culture. It's men. Women used to not have a choice. Women used to have to be married and have children in order to survive. Okay, so that was broken in our culture. That actually got fixed, thankfully. And now we see that it's actually been men that's been broken all along. And I love that, you know, Elon Musk chiming in here too. Like, sir, you're one of the reasons why. Like, you're a literal breeder. Like, you have a literal fetish. And women are catching on to the fact that that's all having children is for most men. It's like a thing that they want. And they don't really know why. They don't want to do anything for it. They don't want to contribute in any way other than obviously the fun part that they get to do in the very beginning. And then they think they can treat these women however they want because the woman had a child with them. And now it's too late. And like, what is she going to do? And who's going to want her with a kid and all that? Well, women have solved the problem. The solution is no men, no children. That's the solution, because that's what's broken in our society. I would also like to read you guys this fantastic Twitter thread that I found. And y'all know I say this all the time, but it's just so good and so refreshing to see it all in one place that I'm just going to read it to you. So somebody said, what's your pet theory about the causes of birth rate decline? Note that it's pretty much worldwide at this point. Love that. I love to hear that, actually. At Quinn Veer says, women wised up to the fact that majority of men want kids in a way a child wants a puppy, knowing full well the mom is going to pick up after it and do most of the labor required. Men don't train to be loving, empathetic, and present fathers the way women are expected to be mothers. There are no rewards given in society for having children and sacrificing the woman's mortality. Jobs are lost and mothers are all but publicly shunned and punished when their child starts screaming and crying. There is no village, there is no financial kickback. There are no third spaces where children and young adults can go to be with their peers without the expectation of spending money. Everything we could have as resources became microtransactional and subscription-based faster than we can regulate it or predict corporate greed. If you ask men why they want kids, their answer is usually furthering the legacy. Not because they think they would be an exceptional parent to it. Not because they want to build a deeper connection with the woman they love. Not because they provide any real future or material. Before having kids, women should be asking potential mates about their future preparations for a child. Ask men what their experiences with children are, if they help their moms, and what their savings for a house and childcare looks like. Be stingy, stingy, stingy with your wombs, ladies. Our daughters have learned that having children isn't a fucking game. A child is not a prop for status. It's 20 plus years of commitment. Your parenting partner will be the most important decision you can ever make, and only women seem to take it with the seriousness it deserves. What I mean is, ask men, when was the last time you were expected to put something to the side because of how it might affect your future wife? When was the last time you looked up the cost of diapers, formula, clothes, wipes, daycare, education, transportation, houses, car seats, cribs, groceries for 3+ mouths, toys, books, the availability of teachers per student ratio in your district so your child has the best chance of growing up salient with access to resources? Where your local parks and public libraries are, if those are safe, if you have genetic conditions that affect your future or the child's, if you checked on your own health, if you've thought of where your career is headed in the next 10 years, retirement, your child's college costs, and how you would settle marriage disputes. If you haven't thought of any of these and more in the last year, then you aren't ready for a child. Get a dog. And rant. Ladies don't have babies with losers that don't even consider anything beyond tomorrow. Of course, the men in the comments had the nerve to accuse this woman of, you know, your father must have been horrible. My wife and I raised 4 kids. I taught them how to read. I coached them in sports and taught them the important lessons in life I knew. All are married parents, homeowners, and financially successful, blah, blah, blah. And she says, I love how that's the conclusion made about me. My high standards for men not doing the bare minimum as a partner must be because I didn't have a dad. As of course, I actually had an unconventional childhood because my mom is an engineer and my dad got to stay home. I use the word unconventional specifically because my experiences are the exception and not the rule when it comes to gender roles across the world. And somebody else said, fair enough, your point's definitely valid. I guess I just wish we talked about those exceptional men a little more. Why? They're exceptional. They're not the rule. They're the exception. That's why we fucking talk about the rule and not the exception. Those men tend to quietly do the work and not seek affirmation for it and often go unmentioned. My dad was a saint. So was mine. And I talk shit about men all the time because of that fact. Like, that's what people don't understand. Women that get on the internet and talk about how shitty men are, 90% of the time, we come online and talk shit about men because we actually had good men in our life. Raising us, loving us, all that stuff. I have a wonderful father. I have an amazing husband. I've been around like good men my whole life. And that's why I talk shit about the rest of these useless, like walking corpses, basically. Parasites. The difference is so stark and obvious because that kind of shit wasn't normalized to me growing up. So I just never even expected that it would be like this. And now that I have found out, I'm like, I need to let other women know. Like, that's why I talk shit. That's why all these other women talk shit. And men assume it's because we had horrible fathers. And it couldn't be further from the truth. Like, if most men were such great fathers and like deserve to be talked about as if they are the rule and not the fucking exception, then we would see a lot less content like this, like the video that I stitched, on social media in the first place. We would see competent fathers. We would see fathers making content about how to be good fathers, the way that mothers often do. We would see content of men being normal and not being just a walking fucking liability, a walking burden. Like, you're so oh my God, like, it literally gives me the ick so bad. Like, that video pissed me off so bad. Like, it's the fact that like women in her comments were like agreeing, and they were like, oh yeah, mine does this too, and oh yeah, don't forget when they do this, and don't forget when like blah blah blah. So again, tell me, why should we talk about these exceptional fathers more? Why? Trust me, they don't care. They don't care that we don't talk about them. It's literally the bare minimum to be a good father to your own child that you helped create. That's literally the bare minimum. To be able to take that child and take care of it when the mother can't or frankly doesn't want to, because that's what you get to do like 90% of the time. When you don't want to take care of the kid, you just hand it off back to her. And when she hands it to you, you follow her around like a sick, broken dog. Like, oh my God, it's so infuriating. Like, it's literally infuriating. What is wrong with you? And y'all want us to talk about men who are exceptional? The men who are exceptional, they don't want to be the exception. They want it to be the rule, because that would make life easier for them. That would make everything they do easier, and nothing would change for them, because they're just good people to begin with, and they would do it either way. They would do it either way. If everybody else was doing it, and they would clearly do it even if nobody else was doing it. That's why we don't talk about them as exceptions, because the rule is otherwise. The rule is the opposite. You cannot imagine the massive ick that you get when you realize that your husband like can't even take care of his own offspring. Like, that's disgusting. Like, what if something happens to you? What if you die and you realize, like, in that split moment that you've just procreated with an absolute useless dumbass? And you realize too in that moment that that motherfucker would have somebody moved in, handing off your precious baby to some other bitch within 2 weeks of your passing. That's exactly the kind of man that's going to do that. And the kind of ick you have to live with, I cannot even fathom. I feel so bad for this woman. And it's like, a lot of times, you know, people are like, well, she made her bed, like, now she needs to lie in it. Men hide this. Men don't act like this. Men only start acting like this when the child comes along. I'm not going to be one of those people being like, oh, it's her bed, like, she made it, now she has to lie in it. Like, no. A lot of women don't know that that's their bed. They don't know there's something rotting underneath until they can fucking smell it. And that sucks, because they know they've trapped you. Keep those birth rates low, ladies, because it ain't worth it. This is the rule. And you are unlikely to be the exception. So stay safe out there. Godspeed.
I've never hated another person more than I hate the person that I married.
Well, I run my ass off and I do everything for everybody in my life. Like me, my kids, him. He goes to work and works enough. That's it. He works.
Her story is a cautionary tale of the inherent risk involved when you decide to become a stay-at-home mom, when you decide to become financially reliant on your partner. And I want to say, I know that for many families, there is no choice, right? Women are being forced out of the workforce due to the cost of childcare. Not everyone has the choice of whether or not they can remain in the workforce or not. But when a woman decides to become a stay-at-home parent or is forced to become a stay-at-home parent, there is inherent risk, right? She's sharing her experience of this toxic, awful marriage and her partner who is truly failing her and her children in so many ways. And oftentimes when women share this experience, people will say, well, why didn't you leave? How come you didn't leave? Why did you stick around? If it was so bad, you've been together for 12 years, why did you stay? And she shares that the reason she stayed is because she simply did not have the means to leave. She could not financially afford to leave, because this is what so many people find themselves in, right? Even if they do have a job, if they're going to leave, they need to pay for their own housing. They need to pay for childcare. They now need to do everything on their own financially. Or if they don't have a job, now they're in this place where they need to find a job. They need to find a job and housing and the money to be able to afford childcare so they can have the job. But without childcare, you can't get a job. And without a job, you can't get childcare. So what are they to do, right? They don't have the means to leave. And there's this weird assumption that women can just leave and they'll have the family support or friend support or support of a community. And that's just not the case for so many women. And her story really is a cautionary tale, because when we enter into marriage, every time you enter into marriage as a woman, there's inherent risk involved, right? Marriage isn't always good for women. We know that women are the ones who are financially punished for having children, for being married. And so entering into marriage is just risky in general. But when you enter into marriage and then you become a stay-at-home parent, there's more risk involved financially, right? And it is really detrimental to women who are specifically in these toxic relationships because they can't get out. And that's a really, really difficult place to be. And so when women like this share their stories, I think it's important to heed their caution, right? Like understand what they're telling us, listen to them, and plan accordingly. If you are a stay-at-home parent, that is by no means the wrong choice. Like I support anybody who wants to stay home with their children. I think that's amazing. But I do think there needs to be a level of financial security. You need to have access to your own money, your own savings. You need to be able to financially support yourself should you need to. I think it's really important to keep a foot in the door if you can with a career, if you ever had one, or if you think you might go back. That way you can re-enter the workforce to support you and your children. I think there are so many things to learn from stories like this. And this is not to discourage women from being stay-at-home parents. It's to equip you with the information you need to make sure that if ever you find yourself in a situation like this, you are able to support yourself and your children and put yourself in a place that is not toxic, right? And is good for you all. Because unfortunately, this woman has been in this relationship that is not only detrimental to her, but also to her children.
She's coming to save you! And she has boobs!
What happened?
Oh my God.
What happened?
I've said it before and I'll say it again. For all the men out there that are wondering why the birth rates are dropping, why the marriage rates are dropping, it's because women are getting a sneak peek into the lives of wives and mothers, and they don't like what they see. This woman just tried to take a simple shower, 10 or 15 minutes with a child being left with the father, and the child is screaming their head off. He doesn't look like he has done anything to console this child. So the next time she wants to take a shower, she's going to have to bring the car seat in with her, bring the baby in the shower with her, like all of that because this grown, able-bodied man is purposely doing this job badly. How dare she take 10 or 15 minutes for herself to bathe herself? This is why so many like new moms are like in shirts, encrusted with like breast milk, they're dirty, they don't shower, their hair is greasy, like all these different things because they can't take a minute for themselves because their partner is sitting around acting like, nah, the baby's crying for you, the baby needs you, the baby needs its mom. But you don't miss a game. You don't miss a game. You don't miss a sporting event. You don't miss a work event. This is why some women are opting out of motherhood because all of the responsibility goes on the woman, even when she has an able-bodied man right there. These are the same men who are in videos talking about, I think me and my child are very close. Don't know the child's eye color. Don't know the child's name, their birthday, the school they go to. But let them tell it they're a very active father. For all the single men out there who can't understand why single women are opting out of motherhood, it's because all of you are dads, but only few of you are fathers. And if you don't understand the difference, that's the problem.
And yes, and I was married for 12 years. And these 12 years, I never had the help that is needed to take the kids for the extracurricular activities that the kids was practicing. I asked him 100 times to help me, but he never did. And also in the house, in the cleaning of the house, cooking, I was all in my own. I never have any help. And I asked him repeatedly to help me many times, and it wasn't. He didn't want to help, okay? He didn't want to help. So because you have a man, you just think that you have to, you have to elaborate all these meals, for this man. And also he will just complain about it, of my food. If it's something didn't came like in the way he wanted to, he would complain about my cooking and all these things. So, and I just so glad that I move on and I just found somebody else, okay, to have. I still single, but I feel like I have a better life as it is right now. So I am happy that I got to have a single life where I just do things in my own pace, in my own time. I don't have to cook as heavily as I used to do. I think that I find my happiness being single. I still want to get married again. I still want to have a partner again. But I'm just taking my sweet time to have it. So please, guys, don't forget to be giving a like, comment, and subscribe. These videos are completely free. I only ask you to please to support my channel Okay, support me, subscribing to my channel and giving a like to this video and comment below. It really will help me if you can do that. Thank you so much. You guys have a great day. Bye bye.